The classic tomato soup is always enjoyed with a grilled cheese sandwich on a cold, rainy fall afternoon. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to can a spiced tomato soup from the Ball Book that's better than good. Welcome to Souptember, hosted by myself, and I'll leave a list of the collaborators down below for you. Make sure you're checking out all these wonderful channels. Some that are good friends of mine, and some people I'm just meeting for the first time myself, and I'm going to assure you, you're going to love their content. Make sure you're leaving a heartfelt comment on each of these videos to increase your chance of winning $100 on a live stream giveaway picked at random from a random video on October 7th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Mennonite Farmhouse channel. So let's get to canning. We're going to need 16 cups of chopped, peeled, and cored tomatoes. And here's a tip. I have found it is so easy to chop tomatoes with a bench knife. You just chop them and cut them, and then you scoop them right into your bowl. 3½ cups of chopped onions, 2½ cups of chopped celery, 2 cups of chopped red bell peppers. You can substitute any other color. This was 2 large bell peppers. 1 cup of sliced carrots, 1 clove of garlic, 7 bay leaves, and 1 tablespoon of whole cloves. 1 cup of lightly packed brown sugar. Salt and pepper is to taste. In a large stainless steel pan, you want to add your tomatoes, your onions, your celery, your diced peppers, your sliced carrots. Since the recipe just says garlic, and I doubt they want you just to throw the garlic bulb in there, I'm just going to mince it. And I'm going to add my bay leaves and my cloves into a spice bag. That way I can easily take them out when we go to the next step. So we're going to bring this to a boil. And you want to use a non-reactive spoon. So I'm going to use a wooden spoon to stir, and we're going to boil gently until the vegetables are tender. Now the directions do not call for a spice bag. This is my variation, which it does not change the safety of the canning. I find it easier to be able to pick out the bay leaves and the cloves. And I'm not sure if I would actually like that strong of a clove later in the recipe. We're going to puree the whole soup. So I find using the spice bag gives it enough good flavor, and it's easier to fish out that 1 bag of spices than to pick them out individually. Now we're going to combine the vegetables. Now we're going to bring it to a boil and reduce the heat and boil gently until the vegetables are tender, which is about an hour. And if you're following the recipe, this is when you remove the bay leaves, and we're going to puree in small batches and return the pureed soup back to the saucepan. This is also where I deviate from the directions. I put this through my vegetable strainer. It gives it a better quality because you're not introducing air into your soup. For canning, that's kind of a bad thing, and you'll be sitting there debubbling and debubbling. And I find it safer to use the vegetable strainer because you are less prone to getting yourself burnt. And that puree should definitely go back into your soup pot. You worked hard for that. Make sure it goes in there. Let's get it back on the stove and add our brown sugar and our salt and pepper. Then we just need to bring it back to a boil to dissolve our brown sugar. I added a teaspoon of salt and a ½ teaspoon of black pepper. Let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite soup or what style of soup? I love cream soups or milk-based soups. Now it's time to get canning. Let's fill up our canner with 3 quarts of water since we're using a Presto, and we want to wash our jars a while and get our station set up. I love using a paper towel holder for my canning rings. It just frees up space on the counter, which we never have right during canning season. Do you have counter space during canning season? I sure don't. So let's fill up our jars to a 1-inch headspace and make sure we're bubbling this soup, because air is not our friend in canning. I use my debubbler tool to check my headspace, and then I wipe my rim with my paper towel. Then I add my 4-jar lid and my band, and then I add it to the canner. And while you're using your debubbler tool to check your headspace, make sure it's straight up and down. It's busy time during canning season. If you need to stock up on 4-jar lids, use Mennonite 10 for a 10% discount on your order. With pints, there's always a chance of double stacking. You just want to simply use an extra tray and keep stacking them on. Now it's time to put the lid on, and you want to make sure your arrows are lined up. When you put the lid on, then you just simply turn to lock it. On my stove, I run at a medium-high heat, which is about a 6, to get that steady stream of steam. And you want to make sure there's no breaks in your stream. So if it looks like this, we're not quite there. This is what I'm looking for, constant steam coming out of that vent pipe. Now it's time to add the weight and wait for it to come up to a rocking motion, and we'll work the heat back down to a steady rock. And that's when you start your processing time for 20 minutes. And my gauge has been broken for a couple years, so don't worry about reading that. That will not be accurate. Are you a fan of pressure canning? And if so, what soups do you like to pressure can? I love tomato soup, vegetable soup, and French onion soup. They are very versatile in my pantry. Alright, when the timer goes off, you want to cut the heat to your burner and cut off your timer and just let it come off pressure naturally. It is not a race. Just stand back and let it come down. And when that plug drops, set a timer for 10 minutes. And when the alarm goes off, I just slowly turn my lid to an open position and time another 10 minutes. Then it's time to remove the lid. And to remove that tray, I just use a butter knife to lift it out. Remove jars without tilting. Cool upright, undisturbed for 24 hours. Do not retighten screw bands. After cooling is complete, check the seals. The seals lids will be curved downward. Remove the screw bands, wipe and dry the bands and jars using soapy water with vinegar. You can store your rings separately, or you can put them back on very loosely as desired. Label and store in a cool, dark place. Open up during a blizzard and curl up with a loved one and enjoy this soup. It is very, very good. I've been canning it for years. Thanks for joining me on this first day of Souptember, and go find a country life tomorrow for Hugs and Kisses soup. If you've made it this far into the video, I am sure you're loving the content of this channel. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram for more great content. And may I suggest you watching this next? Take care and God bless.